And okay. And welcome back to 256. I am your co-host, Victor. Shoot. Sorry. We can cut that part out. That was terrible. Okay. Welcome back to 256. I am your co-host, Victor, and here with me is Eric and the Crypto Dad.
Hello.
Welcome on the show.
Hello.
Okay, so today, like I mentioned before, we have a very special guest, Crypto Dad Rex. So he is a very influential YouTube crypto KOL, and he has done a lot of tutorial videos on various types of wallets in the crypto space. As well as reviews for these wallets. And, it's a very special honor to have him on the podcast with us to share his crypto journey and, to give us a special insight into the kind of inner workings of managing a YouTube channel, as well as, some of his favorite crypto wallets. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the first question. So I guess, Rex, you can give the audience a rough introduction on yourself, how you got into crypto, and what got you into creating wallet review videos on YouTube.
Thanks, Victor. Once again, I really appreciate you guys having me on. Think we're going to have some fun. Um, Basically, my crypto journey started back in 2013, thereabouts, and I had been poking around with self improvement and had discovered that there were a lot of online courses that you could take for free from big colleges. And I was getting up at 3 in the morning and taking some of these online courses, listening to the lectures and whatnot. And I took a class on cryptography. I'm not really sure why I was interested in it, but I took the course. It was just an audit. And not too long afterwards, I had discovered about Bitcoin. I'm not sure which one came first exactly, but I had a notion that I would try to do some mining. And I found a mining rig on eBay for $350, a used mining rig. And I set it up in my living room where I had my computer. And the thing was loud and noisy, and I had to figure out how to get it configured. I had to figure out how to download a wallet, how to get on a mining pool. There were a lot of things that were really difficult for me. There wasn't a whole lot of information out there, and I was frustrated trying to find answers online. And I remember saying to myself, man, if I could just find one article or video that would explain exactly what I'm trying to do, right? Because a lot of times when you're trying to do something specific, all you can find are like tangentially related walkthroughs or information. And so I thought, if I could just find somebody explaining exactly what it is I'm trying to do and give me a concrete example so that I can see it happen, and go through the entire process from beginning to end, that would be so cool. But I never could seem to find stuff like that. I would always have to find a piece here and a piece there, and sort of like put together everything on my own. And I did get the miner set up. I mined Bitcoin for about a year and a half, and I ended up with 2 Bitcoins at the end of that. I used some of it to make a purchase, but hung on to like half a Bitcoin and pretty much forgot about it. When 2016 rolled around, I noticed that Bitcoin that I had was starting to go up in value towards the latter half of 2016. I started really playing around with Bitcoin to like make purchases of VPNs, and so you could do a lot of stuff with Bitcoin, and it was really cheap to use back then. The blockchain fees were really cheap. And so I had, got a little experience under my belt. And somewhere around 2017, I had the notion that I should just do a little video on how you go about buying Bitcoin. Or Ethereum or whatever. And I think a lot of it had to do with I'm going to give that one video that I was looking for back, in 2013, concrete example, step by step, show exactly what I'm doing from beginning to end and actually go through with it. So when I do my videos, sometimes I have to rustle up some funds, or do I have enough money in my bank to make a purchase and a transfer and everything? Because I want to actually do it. I've seen other YouTubers that are doing crypto and they'll get to a point and they'll go, okay, well, after that you click buy and then it goes in your wallet. And they're like, yeah, I want to actually do the purchase, make the transfer, verify that it showed up in the wallet or back on the exchange or whatever I'm doing. So that's pretty much how I got started. That's why I do the format that I do, because I know there's people out there like me that are wanting to see it right in front of them so that they can verify and learn from that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. Yeah, that's great. Oftentimes, when we experiment with something new in the world, we get a lot of questions, and oftentimes, we can't find the right answer, just nicely cleared up, nicely formatted right in front of us. And so we kind of have to create our own solutions, which is what you did. And yeah, that's great. And I've actually been watching a lot of your videos lately just to get a better understanding of your career and your platform. And I've noticed you have done a lot of wallet review videos. You've scored different hardware wallets, given them like a report, almost report card. Yeah. And so I gotta ask, out of all the wallets that you've tested and you've tried personally, what have you learned, or what have you taken away from all those testings that might be helpful to a wallet newbie?
Yeah. Well, I think the first takeaway is that it's never a cut and dried decision. There is no best wallet out there. There's always factors that go into your decision. And, first of all, it's, can I afford this wallet? Do I have enough money to buy this wallet? Ledgers and Trezors are pretty expensive up front. So, security should be number one in a crypto wallet, but we live in the real world and people have considerations. If you can't afford it, then you can't use it. So affordability always comes in, and ease of use is a big one, which I think is maybe even more important than security. I know that sounds weird to say that, but if you can't even figure out how to use it, it's not going to do you any good. And if it's so complicated to use and you screw something up, then all that super security that's built into that particular wallet doesn't do you any good either. So that's pretty much what I've learned, is that you really have to weigh all the alternatives. My go-to wallet, the one that I use the most, is the Ledger Nano X. There's been some recent controversy surrounding that wallet. They wanted to offer a backup service. That didn't go over very well. But the underlying issue was that their firmware is not open source. And people have got it in their heads that all of their secret keys have been leaked to Ledger mostly. And so now there's a lot of people out there screaming that, Ledger is not safe. But I always knew there was a certain level of trust you need to put into the company. And I know that their device has been vigorously tested. And, one of the main things that keeps me keeps me going back to Ledger is their industry acceptance. There are, of course, they have Ledger Live for managing your crypto, but there are quite a few third-party wallets out there, MetaMask being one of the biggest, that will work well with a Ledger device. Now, Trezor also works with MetaMask, but there are a lot of, I mean, Kepler. I don't believe Kepler supports the Trezor device. Don't quote me on that. But Kepler is a good example of a very versatile and useful third-party wallet for the Cosmos blockchain that you can use in conjunction with a Ledger device. And then there's a lot of other, third-party wallets that support exotic, up and coming cryptos that, they have their own standalone wallets, but then they also have the option of, saving your private keys on a ledger. So there's a lot of industry support for the Ledger device. And though, yes, there's that little level of trust you have to put in them, I still feel it's one of the most versatile and useful wallets out there.
Yeah, if I can chime in on this topic, because I mean, this topic is has been quite a hot topic for the past 2 weeks. And I know, for those who have been on Twitter, they've seen plenty of a lot of critics come out and basically badmouth Ledger for, I guess, going against the ethos of crypto, the ethos of self-custody and whatnot. And yeah, if you see online too, the CEO of Ledger, I believe his name is Pascal. I don't want to say his last name because I might butcher it, but he's also been on a lot of podcasts as well, I guess, to just explain the reasoning behind Recover and I guess their company's mismanagement of the communication. But yeah, I guess nonetheless, I think if you think about it, right, this Ledger Recover service, being able to provide users the opportunity to let somebody else kind of store their secret seed, or in particular, technically, to store their sharded components, right? The 3 sharded components of what Ledger will do to your seed, right? They're going to use some encryption scheme to fragment your seed phrase or your private key into 3 different components and then store it within 3 different third parties. But if you think about it, this is kind of like an industry first service, right? I don't think I can think of any other service that would provide this kind of backup management for retail users. Any other kind of backup management is mostly historically has been for like enterprises, for big companies, institutions. And, sure, I do get why a lot of people would badmouth Ledger and whatnot. But, you kind of have to applaud them for providing this service to the retail user. I guess, of course, it's going to cost $10 a month, from what I understand, and you'll have to KYC. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess the question to you, Rex, is would you recommend this service to your family or friends?
Well, I totally understand why they decided to offer this service. It makes total sense for them as a company to generate revenue. And it also just makes sense that they're trying to solve the number one issue with crypto wallets is mismanagement of the seed phrase. And I am certain that they get, I don't know how many calls they get or emails. I would imagine it's got to be on the order of at least hundreds, if not thousands, of people complaining that they have lost their crypto or exposed their seed phrase, and they're calling Ledger without much knowledge of exactly what happened and just demanding that Ledger give them back the crypto they lost.